Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, everybody. Now, as I was saying in the previous interview, I never went to the principal's office as a kid, and I definitely have never really talked to a sheriff because I've never been in trouble. But here, I'm excited to talk to Sheriff Martinez of the Summit County. Just talk about Frontline Blue Line, an event that's coming up on September 10th. So without further ado, let's just jump right over to Sheriff Martinez. Thank you so much for being on.
Thanks, Conrad. I appreciate it.
So Frontline Blue Line, what is it?
So Frontline Blue Line was a concept where we want to empower the parents. We've done, I think, a good job of reaching out to students and teaching them what to do and what not to do, and drug safety and so on and so forth. But we were sitting around a command staff, and it was brought up, why aren't we helping empower the parents? The parents really don't know what they're looking for a lot of times. And let me give you an example. The e-cigarettes come and they plug them into a USB port. And a lot of kids are just telling their parents it's a thumb drive. The reality is it's an e-cigarette. And parents don't know, I think, a lot of times what the kids are doing with their computers. Sexting is a big issue in our schools, unfortunately. And what are the ramifications of that? So we wanted to put together a program that really emphasized empowering the parents. These Frontline Blue Line, and the concept between Frontline Blue Line, the blue line is, you hear a lot of times law enforcement, the thin blue line. Okay. And the front line is the parents. The parents are there with their kids every single day. And so it's just a way to bring both parties together, to empower them with some what to look for, and to really help them work with their kids.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the e-cigarette mention, because I think there was a statistic last week that came out that I forget the exact brand of e-cig, but teenage smoking was down to 6%, and with this one e-cig, it raised up to 20 or 25% in an increase. And it's just like Truth, the campaign that tries to stop teen smoking, was just like, well, we just lost our campaign because of that one little e-cigarette. And I remember my mom, even when I was a kid, which, technology was kind of adapting to what it was, she was like, I don't know what you guys are doing. I remember when the first iPhone came out in 2007, my parents were like, what is that? What are you doing? And what can you do with that? And so it's very important, even though parents and teachers are more adaptive to technology these days, super important for them to keep up with what's going on.
And that's the whole I think as parents, and I myself am a parent, we're always going to be 2 steps behind. It just seems like the kids nowadays are so intuitive. I was just with some friends camping last weekend, and the kids had their little iPads, and they were putting together movies. I mean, they were making movies right there. Oh, yeah. They know how to completely cut and paste and put music to it, and they're so technologically advanced than I am. And I think that a lot of parents aren't that technologically savvy. So we're trying to give them the opportunity, because we have some very we have people at the Sheriff's Office who are just well versed in this area. So that's who's coming out, that's who's going to be speaking, that's who we're trying to get out in front of the parents. And the iPhones, that's another example. The e-cigarettes, the iPhones, what you can do with those. I mean, when I had my very first flip phone, the Razor.
Right, the Motorola.
Yeah, you have those, and that's when the camera first hit, but it was all blurry. Now you can take videos, you cut and paste, and what are the ramifications if a student takes a video of another student and then shares that video of a sexual nature? Absolutely, and they are now guilty of a crime. That is a crime that I don't think a lot of students know, that if I take a video and illegally or legally, but if they share that video with somebody else, and that gets shared with 5 other people, that gets shared with another 5 people, each one of those shares is a crime.
Well, and it's not just sharing it within the school. It's not just, oh, Justin, here's a picture of Stephanie. It's Instagram, it's Twitter, it's Facebook. You have to think about, those kids are reaching worldwide. It's not just within the high school.
And you can't recover that.
Yeah, once it's on the internet, no matter how hard you try to cover it up, whatever's on the internet stays on the internet, and you can't hide it.
It's impressive to see how far we are technology, but how dangerous it is. It's very dangerous. And so we've got one speaker that's going to be speaking, Lieutenant Greg Winterton, who'll be speaking about narcotics, narcotics familiarization and what to look for, and the effects of the narcotics. And if your student is acting a certain way, your child's acting a certain way, what could it possibly mean? And so we're going to try to give that information. Then we got a speaker from the federal government, from Homeland Security, that will be talking about the dark web. The dark web is that is an area that I don't have any familiarization with, but you can literally buy tanks, airplanes. There's everything that is nefarious, you can get on the dark web.
It's
Drugs.
a terrifying place.
It is absolutely terrifying. There's no good reason for anybody to be on the dark web.
Not at all.
How do people get on the dark web? It's not that hard. That's the other thing. It's just not that hard to get on the dark web.
Not at all.
So we want to help the parents know what to look for. So those are the two main speakers we're going to have. We're going to have Chief Wade Carpenter will be there as well, because this is over his jurisdiction, and it just shows that both our agencies are collaborating on this together, the Sheriff's Office and the Police Department. So Chief Carpenter will be there, the Superintendent will be there, and we'll all be given little talks about what to look for.
When is this taking place?
September 10th at 6 p.m. at the Park City Eccles Theater.
And how many, you said kind of in the green room, you're expecting a very large crowd. How many people are you expecting?
We're hoping to get somewhere around 1,000 people. We have done this, we started this a year ago in North Summit High School, and at that was the kickoff. We really didn't know what we had, how many people would show up, and we put it out to the parents. And again, this is only for adults. It's very raw, it's very direct.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
This isn't we're gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
We're gonna be very upfront and honest and put it right out there. And so it's only for parents. And at North Summit, we thought maybe 50 to 100 would show up. That very first event, I think we had between 450 and 500 parents and grandparents and adults come to that one. So we had a representative from South Summit that was there, saw it and said, "Ooh, we want to bring this to South Summit." We brought it to South Summit. We had over 500 show up there. At that event, we had somebody from Park City School District that observed it and said, "We want to bring this to Park City School District." We recently had it a few months ago at Ecker Hill, and it was standing room only in the auditorium. We actually had to work with IT to put in some of the classrooms and have live feeds, so parents that couldn't get into the auditorium could observe it on a live feed in the classrooms. So now we're bringing it to Park City, within the Park City boundaries. We're expecting a huge turnout.
Which
we're
is good.
hoping for too as well.
Which is good.
Absolutely. The more we can reach,
volumes.
this program is just exploding. It's something I'm very proud of. It's a flagship of the Sheriff's Office, of a lot of brain trust coming together to put this together for the parents.
Sheriff Martinez, thank you so much.
Oh,
for coming
thank
on
you
the
so
Mountain
much.
Show.
I appreciate it.
What you're doing with Frontline Blue Line, I think, is super important, because we are in an age where, again, you said parents and teachers are 2 steps behind kids in technology, and with all the good things technology brings, there are some terrible and dastardly things that happen.
And we don't want to talk about it. Sometimes it's easier just to pretend like it's not there. We have to address it. We have to bring this to the front, and we have to. Technology, like you said, does some wonderful things, but boy, is it dangerous, and we've got to address it.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Sheriff
you.
Martinez, for
Appreciate
coming
it.
on. Again, guys, Frontline Blue Line, Park City High School, Monday, September 10th at 6 p.m. Parents, I encourage you to go. As someone who's kind of tech savvy and has even been to the dark web, learn about it, know it, eat it, live it, breathe it, because it's there to help protect your kids. Stay tuned for more on the Mountain Morning Show coming up.